Welcome to another episode of Moke and Friends. Today I have a very special guest. I have Q with me. Q, how you doing?
Very special guest.
Yeah, yes, it is. I'm
Thank
actually
you.
excited.
I'm doing well. I'm excited also. I appreciate that.
Good. Now, before we start, I do want to just say that there may be a point during this where I look like a nigga at a club. For some reason, I didn't have the air conditioning on in my garage, so it's currently like 90 degrees right now. So it's pretty fucking hot. But before we really get into everything we want to get into, because I really just want to jump in. Last time, when I started this, the first person I talked to was Stacey Shea. This was before like the audio, but I guess this year I talked to Stacey Shea, and during that podcast, it's a question I've always had, and I mean I probably know the answer because it's probably self-explanatory. But I asked her, why do they call Q Q if it's spelled with a CW?
It's not spelled with a CW.
I figured that. I figured your name was really just Quentin
Right.
with the Q, but you spelled it with a CW. But I just asked because I didn't know you.
Simple response. I don't need the people who need to be in my business is the people I want to be in my business.
I thought about that too.
I say a lot of crazy stuff, but professionally, I am a professional, and I don't need a bunch of people looking up at my posts and my views and my opinions because I'm quite opinionated and I don't bite my tongue on anything.
Yeah.
So long story short, if an employer or somebody who's looking to hire me wants to look up my name on Facebook and see my stuff, they're not gonna find anything.
Is your last name your last name?
Nope.
Okay, there we go.
But the reason I did it like that, anybody who knew me or grew up with me, if you spell it out, you know who I am.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
But just typing my actual name in a search, it's not gonna get you where you trying to find.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now I even prepared myself for this show.
Okay.
Because it's not that type of prepare, but I did not. I usually smoke like a couple of joints before the show, but today I did not. That's just drank, and I said because I want to be on a good wavelength and be able to get everything you say. Because I watch you on Smack, and I talk to Nikki about this a lot of time. I tell her I don't come on Free Thinkers because like y'all niggas are just really smart.
No, we're not. That's the biggest misconception. That's the first lie you done told today. We are not that smart. Well, but what I will say is we've created an atmosphere and we've practiced on speaking our mind, speaking our opinion. So it's not that we smart, but we are emphatic about what we say, what we believe in our perspective, because we've created a space for that. So you can find somebody saying the dumbest thing that's dead wrong, but they convicted in what they say. So if it sounds like they saying some some enlightening stuff and they really not, including myself.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like I've heard y'all, on Smack show. So I'm always like, yo, these niggas, no, they know what they're talking about. And come on, you do. I mean, could you pay attention to shit?
No, I know my perspective. So it's a difference. It ain't that I know what I'm talking. I know what I'm talking about for me. So it's not me. Let me back up. It's not me grabbing and formulating opinion from a bunch of news media sound bites and people telling me what to think, and I'm just mixing all that up and regurgitating what the media told me to think. No, it's me actually thinking for myself, combining that with my personal experiences, other people's personal experiences, seeing if I can find any, and I examine, critique, and question everything. And I come up with my own conclusion based upon kind of that formula. Yeah. So when I do talk about something, yes, I'm convicted and I can give you logical rebuttals based upon what I'm saying because I've already questioned my stance on whatever I'm talking about. Okay, it don't mean I'm right, but it just mean I have a defense for it.
Right, gotcha. Sounds good. Okay, now this is what we're gonna do. I have a couple topics. I may try to add some topics as we go, so I can have on the screen. If I can't, we'll just throw it out. But we, like I said, we don't have to really stick on these topics. We can move past them really quick. This is just some shit that I've thought about, seen, or like heard somewhere else. So I would want to get, have an open dialogue, because I have open dialogues on here, but I think this is the first show that I'm having, and this is no disrespect, but this is the first show that I'm having with somebody that I don't know, and I'm not like talking about them. You know what I'm saying?
The same thing, right? Yeah.
But it's because I really like what you be talking about, and I do want to talk to you about you. You know what I'm saying? But I really want to have just a fucking open dialogue. You know what I mean? And I'm really excited, man.
I'm with it. All
right. Let's go. First thing. I don't know if I did the grammar right about this, but the question is, should trans women or men reveal what they are ahead of time? Meaning, should they tell a nigga like, yo, I am a nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like from the time they meet, just in case if they are flirting or something, you know what I mean? If it has to go there. Not if they just walk across and I'm like, just saying what's up to a nigga or something. But if, like they show interest, like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay,
and
my bad.
What's funny is that's a real question now. Like in today's day, that's a real question.
Right.
It's absolutely you should tell somebody. And not for that trans person should tell them, and there's a certain point in time, or a trans people, I don't know how they think now, but and I'm saying they like they all think alike, but I don't know how a person would take it now, but a person would tell you do that for your own safety.
Right.
Like you tell a person up front for your own safety. It ain't that they gonna be shocked. You don't know how somebody's gonna respond to that. Now you do know. Let's stop pretending like everybody's cool with that. Some people are cool with it. A lot of people are cool with it, and they know they're cool with it. But for those people who not, you don't want them to kind of halfway find out midway through.
Right. Yeah.
Because not only that, let me go a step further. Because I have several trans friends that I talk to, that I'm preparing to do shows with, that I've worked with. What was I about to say? Not only that, you don't want a person to I'm gonna keep talking. It's gonna come back to me. It was a point that I had with that. I don't know. I just lost it.
Look, cut me off anytime. Mm-hmm. But so would you say that, okay, if somebody meets a trans person, the trans person doesn't say anything, and
okay, I know what I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
Because a person, and this is the other thing, people, whether you're gay, whether you're trans, lesbian, whatever, I don't know what all of the terms are. Whatever you are, you need to understand that you openly being who you are, whoever you are, for most people, it took some time.
Right.
For you to express, yes, this is who I am. Yes, I'm a gay man. Yes, I'm a gay woman. Yes, I am lesbian, transgender, whatever. It took you a certain amount of time to be comfortable to express that to the rest of society. In a likewise manner, you need to understand that even people who may be down with that, and from the people I've talked to, there's people who'll get down with that, but that don't mean they want to get down in public with that. That don't mean that they want to, if you meet somebody at the club and they dancing up on you and this and this and that don't mean that they want to be seen publicly in that type of light. They may not be ready to express themselves and openly be down with
but I feel like if a person goes through a procedure to be, like, my definition of trans is when it looks like a girl or a guy, you know what I'm saying? Like you may get some titties or something. So I feel like if you get titties, you should be okay with being open about it.
I feel that. And you know what? Let me say this. A lot of people are okay with that. But what happens is, and I've heard this on several occasions, somebody at the club, You dancing, you think this woman fly, this and this and that. They cool with it. They ain't got no problem. Even if they told you, they may not have had a problem.
Right.
But you go back and you go back to your corner of the club. Say, homie, you know that's a dude, right? You know you just grinding up on the dude, right?
Yeah.
And now something that you might have been cool with in your own personal space, now you're embarrassed.
Right.
Now you know your friends and the people around you may be clowning you and may be demeaning you for probably for the rest of your life. Like, remember you was humping up on that dude, and I've seen transgender women get beat up for stuff like that.
Like, I get that, but is it really up to like the person to be like, yo, I'm a nigga, or I'm a trans? Let me put that. And so you go dance on them, and they just automatically say, okay, yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Motherfuckers should be like, yourself. yeah.
That trans man or woman, you have to protect yourself with that.
Right.
And you want to make sure that whoever's dealing with you is going to be cool with that.
So do you think that if a trans person says like doesn't say nothing and kind of goes all the way, do you think that should be considered as like rape or some type of crime?
No.
You don't think it should be like some type of like sexual assault crime?
No, not at all. I just because whoever they were talking to or dating or dancing with, it all starts with the attraction of the eye. I don't care what you say, man, woman, you were attracted to the visual presentation of that person. So don't get mad when you when you find out that it ain't what you thought. Now, it's two different stories here. To the person who got tricked, I'd say one thing, like, that may be what I say, but to the person who may be doing the tricking or not maybe totally open, I would say you shouldn't do that, because that could be a detriment to yourself. You putting yourself in danger by doing that. So it's two different conversations that I would have with both parties.
I agree. Because and I say that, you know what made me think of this? My homie at work, he be on Tinder, and he said that he matched it with this chick. They're supposed to meet at the park, and he went to the park, and the person was pretty much hiding or something, but like describing everything around him, and he was like, "Yo, it's this bad bitch." I don't mean to say that, and my mom is watching. I'm sorry, but it was this bad chick, and she was whatever, and so he got freaked out and started leaving. And once he was leaving, he said it wasn't even a trans. It was just a nigga, popped out, blah, blah, blah. Now, I've heard stories of hold
on, you saying it wasn't a trans, it was just a cross dresser?
Yes.
Or like someone who it was just a dude, not even cross dressing. It was just a dude.
It probably was just a dude. But that's what made me think of this. But then I heard another story. I don't know if it's a nigga from a Navy or somewhere, but he got catfished by a trans woman, and he stole off on her and killed her.
Yeah. And that goes back to why I said the person should be careful for yourself. You can't get caught up in your own lust or your own desire to the point that you put yourself in harm.
Do you think that not if you kill, but if you like beat up a trans person who catfishes you, do you think that should like get you off in court?
No, not at all. Like there's what warranted you to beat that person up because you felt deceived and you went into rage. No. You have the option to get back in your car and walk away. It's not complicated, man. People try to complicate stuff. They forced me to do this. I was in such a
I just want to tell the people also is that tonight I'm also going to be playing a lot of devil's advocate. So
sure, and I
don't want people to think I'm this fucked up person, because I'm not.
I'm the master of devil's advocate. So I'm cool with that. I'm good. Makes a good conversation.
All right, so are we good on this? You got anything else to say about it?
Do you have anything else to add to it?
I mean, like with the question.
What prompted this question from you? What was the starting point of this question for you?
Well, one of the starting points is when my homie, he was telling me about his whole Tinder thing. Because he's this like skinny white guy, and he was showing me his messages, and he had this nice like thick black chick on there, and she was like, "Yo, let's go out hiking and paint each other's body." And I was like, "Bro, you should get on that." And then he said, "I don't know," and then he told me the story. You know what I'm saying? And then I've also just been listening to a lot of different podcasts, and they kind of been talking about this too, and I really wanted to get an opinion on it because I don't really know any trans people, and I mean maybe I came across because I'm in Austin, but I feel like because what you were saying that when people feel like that they're hiding or something or still keeping to themselves, and I feel that if you're trans, you should just be like, yo, I'm a trans.
So this is the other thing that I've been in. Over the years since I've been doing Free Thinkers, Meeting of the Minds, I've had I'm trying to think of a conversation that I haven't had yet with people because I ask millions of questions. But two things. One of the conversations with two different people that I've worked with who are trans, they will tell you, because what other people won't ask, I will ask. I don't care. I ask everything because I like learning. Most of the people that they deal with, if from a sexual, if you're talking about casual sex, most of the people that they deal with are straight men. You're not dealing with gay men. Most of the people who deal with trans women are straight men. That's what I've been told. 90% of them are straight men. It's not gay men. Gay men are attracted to the physique of another man. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, wow, who's attracted to the physique of a woman? Straight men. So it's things that we don't necessarily think about directly. I'm like, you're like, no. Most of the people who be hitting me up are straight men. Now they don't want anybody else to know because they also like women. They're actually straight men, and you dealing with, you can call it a trans woman, but another woman is going to look like, oh, you like men.
Yeah, right.
So you don't want to do anything that's going to prohibit your ability to get your primary desire, which is a woman. Yeah. And if a woman looks at you like, oh no, you like men or you like penis or whatever the case is, they're not going to mess with you. So nobody wants to be in that category because now you kind of in no man's land, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You don't like men. You don't like men. You like women, but you kind of mess with somebody who was a man. So what do you actually like? And nobody wants to deal with you anymore. Or what you want don't want to deal with you, and what you don't want probably do want to deal with you, but that ain't what you want. Yeah. I don't know if I just confused everybody, but I got it. In no man's land, nobody wants that. So that was my first point. It was something else I was gonna say, but I got off in a tangent. But go ahead. What was you saying?
No, you said it best. You said it best. I was actually just gonna go on to another topic.
It's a Oh, okay. This is the other thing. See, these are look at this, man. All right, you gonna get it's so many different levels where I can go with stuff, because when I think about a thought, my mind goes all the way down a rabbit hole, and a lot of people are not ready to have these conversations.
Let's talk.
Because a lot of people there's an insecurity involved in it, which I understand the insecurity. But I asked this question on Black Tea Talk a while back, and I couldn't even get smacked to answer this. And this goes back to the attraction of the eye.
Right.
So I want everybody, Google Chaz Bono and Google Sydney Starr. As a straight male, if someone had to pay you $1 million, if someone's gonna pay you $1 million, $1 billion, whatever your breaking point is to say, I'm gonna do this,
yo,
who would you have sex with? Would you have sex with Chaz Bono, or would you have sex with Sydney Starr?
Let's see. Wait. All right.
And no man is gonna give that. No, men are not gonna give you that answer,
bruh. Okay. Let's see.
So hold on. So Chaz Bono is born a woman,
right?
Transitioned into a man.
Right.
Sydney Starr, born a man, transitioned into a woman. From the eye perspective,
yeah, I know, right?
If you a certain amount of money, which direction are you going?
Yo, all right. Now let me ask some questions. You know, I nigga gotta move the fucking goalposts for this shit. All right. So, does Chad still have a vagina?
Let's say that he did. Let's say that Chad. I don't know, but let's say that Chad still has a vagina. Okay. Which direction are you going?
Now, let me ask my question.
It's all right, bro. It's all right. I ain't gonna get. That's why I say it's levels to this, man.
Man, yo, but I love it though. I love it, man. Like, yo, I'm not even gonna hold you, nigga. Like, yo, bro. Like, I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy. Wait, she fucked with the New York Undercover guy?
I don't know. I'm not big on current events.
Came up too. His picture came up.
His picture came up because he actually Malik Yoba, he actually admitted that he's attracted to trans women. And he got dragged for that. And then people start calling him gay. He's like, no, I'm not gay, but I am attracted. And the whole thing was I believe he was trying to comfort some. There was a young trans woman who said that, I don't know, they thought about suicide or they were going through some real like mental depression type stuff. And he was like, you know, it's not a big deal. I'm actually attracted to trans women. And people took that. They went somewhere with
fight somebody for that shit. I saw that
because you know what? Because now people calling them gay.
All right, look. Let me ask you the same question, but what would you do?
Again, I like how you asked me the question without answering it yourself.
I know, right?
And again, what I will tell you is, I bring up the question, but I would not do anything that I like women.
Right.
I'm not going to do or say anything that is going to deter my ability to attract women.
I can dig that.
So no matter how I feel about you, I brought the question up for a reason, but no matter how I feel about it, I wouldn't do anything that's going to take away my ability to attract women. Because listen, like I said, there's levels to this, and I know. And when I say levels, from I grew up Christian, so from a Christian standpoint, from a society standpoint, like what's socially acceptable is different levels, and there's certain things that people ain't ready to hear for certain levels, and I would never go there because it's like I wouldn't answer the question because it's not important enough to me for me to lose out on what I like.
Yeah,
you're not getting the answer me. But what did I say again?
Right, man.
Initially, we are what is physically appealing to the eye.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. Because when I heard the names, I thought that they were both women, but one was trans, one wasn't. So when I looked up Jeffree Star first, I was like, "Yo, this looks like a woman."
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? It looks like a woman. And when I looked up Chaz, I was like, "This is a nigga who is probably a woman."
That's what your eyes told you.
Yeah. So definitely. Like if the nigga was in the club drunk and stumbled upon Jeffree Star, people would probably be fighting.
And it's go to another thing that you kind of hinted to a little bit when it comes to double standards. And this is something else I asked Mac. So if I said, you know what? Yeah, I'd smash Chaz Bono if I got the chance.
Right.
What would you think of me? Would you think I was still straight?
No, I wouldn't think nothing of you because in my mind, I would say, yeah, I've smashed some big girls that looked iffy in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna. But if it's Chaz with the beard, if it's Chaz with the
beard and physically looks like
okay,
a
because
man,
a lot of pictures come up and she looks like a dyke without the beard. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if my first thing was, yeah, you saw Chaz with, but see, my mind is fucked up that all I'm thinking about, like, yes, it may look like a dude, but there's a vagina. So and it's really a girl.
You go to Chaz Bono route because technically it's still a.
Yeah.
I mean, not it, but
right.
He still has female genitalia.
It would have to be Chaz without the facial hair. Right. I can't do that. I can't do that.
That's funny.
Chaz has the beard. Nah, I ain't even gonna joke like that.
Some people, but that's the thing. That's the whole. That's the gray in it. Some people be like, "No, Chaz was born a woman. I'm gonna go ahead and knock Chaz off." Some people be like, "No, Chaz looked like a man. I'm gonna go ahead and mess with Sydney Starr." Some people would probably lie and say, "No, I wouldn't take $1 million. I wouldn't do either one of them." Like, yeah, you lying.
Niggas would definitely lie. Yeah,
and trust me. Let me even go this far with it. Even if you felt that way, if that proposition came to you,
right,
you happen to be the first in line, and you like, "Nah, I ain't doing it," and it's 10 people behind you in a line, like, "Oh yeah, let this nigga say no, because I'm sure I'm about to tap one of them and I'm get this bag." When you see the next person about to become a millionaire or whatever the case is, and you gonna pass it up off you like, "Nah, I'm gonna take one for the home team and I'm gonna pick one and go get this money."
Bro,
it's but
$1 million, $1 million. I'm not skipping over that, bro. You could come at me with 7,500.
Antoine right behind you, be like, yes, I'm let's do this.
No, Antoine, I'm picking. I am picking. Now, this is. I do kind of want to talk about the Asian guy who shot the 6-year-old boy, but
okay, I don't know about that. Tell me about it.
Okay,
I think I know where I'm going with that already, but yeah,
let me get kind of bougie with it. I'm gonna try to get bougie. I'm gonna see if I can just play it, like the news clip for you.
I'm gonna tell you it don't matter, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not gonna do that. So
this is even on face value. I don't know anything about the story. This is what I can tell you, or ask the question first, and then I'm probably let me tell you what I think about it.
Okay, look, let me just okay. Let me find a clip first.
Is it a visual clip or audio clip? I don't need to see visuals or something like that.
No, man, it's like a news clip. It's like, man, come on, I ain't gonna do that.
I don't know. No, like for me, I have not watched that George Floyd thing. I haven't watched it.
Me neither. Okay. I'll just tell you about it. So there's a 6-year-old kid, and I actually just heard about this today. There's a 6-year-old kid, the Asian guy. The kid is, I guess, playing on his property. There's really no fence to close off anything. So the guy tries to hit the little black kid with a fucking mallet. Black kid moves, runs, whatever. So the guy goes into his house. Black kid's on a bike, grabs a gun, shoots at the kid from inside the house. So it goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? The kid gets hit, and so they have the little house cam footage. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see nothing crazy. But the kid's like, whatever. And when they're talking to him on the kid on the news, he's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah." But the Asian guy had a little smirky ass look on his mugshot, and his bond was only 10 racks, meaning $1,000.
All right.
Now, what do you think? Let me. And this is also why I brought up the thing about are black people being stripped of rights and shit like that.
Yeah, so it's two different things. Number one, the guy has mental problems. I mean, that's some of the stuff that we see and we hear. We don't need to take it that far. This guy he's mentally unstable or mentally unhealthy unhealthy, mentally challenged, whatever. He's just he should be in some type of asylum. Because I'm quite sure there's racism goes to a certain extent. Even racists have a different decency when it comes to children. He's somebody who just has mental problems, and we just have to address it and see that. The second part is what you're talking about, the bond being $10,000. That's something that we know that as well. That is a government societal issue of how they value Black life. That's nothing new. Even which, if you want to talk about Asian on Black, that goes back to Natasha Harley. Tupac even would talk about that. The woman who shot the Black girl in the convenience store for talking back to her, saying, she popped off and shot her in the back of the head. Natasha Harley. They actually have a documentary about her on Netflix. If you ever want to look at that,
Natasha Harley.
Mm-hmm. She was a girl. I think it was either in Oakland or South Central, somewhere in California. Straight A student.
Natasha Harlan.
Mm-hmm. Straight A student, good girl, 15-year-old. She was going to pick up, and not only that, people would tell them not to go to that corner store because that woman had she wasn't mentally all the way there. She was always thinking somebody was trying to take something from. She had pulled guns on people several times for no reason at all. But after somebody does something enough times, you just think that they're not going to do anything, and she actually did. So,
right.
Anyway, my whole point with that is it's not anything new how the government views Black lives. And sometimes I think it feels like, I don't know this for a fact, but it feels like the government tries to provoke Black people. Like letting somebody off on 10,000. Oh, by the way, the woman talking back in the 90s from Natasha, she got off.
Really?
She had to do like a little bit of community service. She didn't do any jail time. She literally got away with murder.
But how? What was her reasoning?
How they value Black life. All you hear this so many times. I felt threatened.
Yeah.
I felt like my life was in danger. And
have you ever been hit with the I feel threatened?
By not directly to me. I'm sure if somebody tried to shoot me or tried to, physically harm me, I'm sure if the police questioned them, they would say that they felt physically threatened.
I got hit with an I feel threatened once. I was like, nigga. I mean, I probably was. But.
See, and this is me. I don't have an ego. I do not have an ego. So the moment I recognize that you are an idiot, that you are a fool, that you are a dummy, I have nothing else to prove. I don't have to prove a point. I don't have to argue with you. I'd be like, oh, okay, you have a nice day. That's it. You could say whatever else you want, but I recognize you as an idiot. Once I do, I feel no obligation to speak to you any further after that.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay. Well, all right. No problem. Bye. And they can keep arguing all they want. They can call me whatever they want to. You ain't there. So at that point, let me go a little bit deeper. So at that point, the moment I realize that you're an idiot, anything I do past that, anything that I continue to further dialogue, that's on me. Now I'm stupid because I recognize that you were a dummy, but I still kept talking to you anyway. Now I'm a dummy. And that's how I view it. Like, Q, why are you still here? Why are you still having a conversation with an idiot? Now I'm upset with myself for continuing a conversation for somebody who didn't deserve my time or my conversation.
Yeah.
I'm only mad at myself at that point. So, yeah.
That's interesting. I really like admire the way you think, man. That shit got me thinking different. Like for real, man. But you know what was also good, and what I try to do also is I try not to pay attention to like how you didn't know about this story. I try not to pay attention to a lot of shit, but when it comes to stuff like this, and I have kids, you know what I'm saying? I try to just see what's up. But I get mad because, like you said, like they don't value black people. You know what I'm saying? Then they got the people on there cooning and go ahead.
You see, I referenced a story back from the 90s of
right.
the same type of stuff.
Right. So it's been going on.
It's been going on. I already know this. So what is the purpose of me to need to know every individual story? I got the temperature of how they feel about us. That's all I need. Yeah. I don't need to destroy my mental, destroy my energy, destroy my atmosphere with overload.
Yeah.
And that becomes overload.
I got you. Now let's switch gears for like really quick second.
Let's go. I'm Seinfeld. We can go any direction. Let's go.
Let me just look this up real quick just to make sure everything's good. Okay. Playoffs. Bucks are 67 and 65. Mm-hmm. Now, I am a Houston fan, but obviously Houston wasn't even close to doing anything this year. And I told myself, when the Rockets lost last year, I told myself I was going to be a Brooklyn fan just because KD was there, but then Harden went there. And so I'm not going to be a Brooklyn fan. So going into the playoffs, I was rooting for the Bucks, the Mavs, and the Lakers.
Why?
Mavs just because it's Texas, and they're good.
Okay,
they're good
because of Texas, and they're good. Yes. The Bucks. Why the Bucks?
Bucks because one of my homeboys is from Milwaukee, and he really wanted them to win. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna support that. So it's really not a good reason, but that was my reason.
It don't matter.
And what did I say? The Lakers or Suns? Well, the Lakers because I'm a LeBron fan.
Right. I got you.
Now I am going for the Suns or the Nets.
You're going for the Nets?
Yeah. I mean, they're good.
So for me, I realize if I really like you, I'm gonna go for you. And that after a certain point in time, that's why I became a LeBron supporter, just because I like LeBron. I like what he represents. Right. I just like his representation and how he plays the game.
Right.
But outside of LeBron, I love the underdog. That's anybody who's an underdog, whether it's football, basketball, whoever's an underdog, because in sports, I was always the underdog. I'm 5'8". I was always the little guy. I was always on the team who wasn't expected to win. So you really gotta bring your heart, and it ain't just about, you gotta bring your heart in order to will yourself to win. So anytime I see an underdog scenario, I'm always rooting for the underdog.
So then you're going for the Bucks?
No,
because there's really no underdogs like left.
I would say the Suns. I would love to see Chris Paul, the little guy who's been bounced around, get a chip. Now, I honestly feel like
the underdogs would probably be the Clippers.
No, the only reason the Clippers can be an underdog is because they've disappointed for the last 2 years.
Right.
They've been a disappointment. They've not lived up to expectation. But you cannot have Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and all this. I mean, the best supporting cast you can ask for and still be considered an under. The only way you're considered an underdog is because you've underperformed, and now people have lowered their expectations of you. That's why they're an underdog right now.
Well, I say underdog because record-wise, Jazz 52-20. Suns 51-21, and Clippers are 47-25.
Did you really think that Utah was coming out the West before?
No,
nobody does.
Nobody thought Utah was gonna be number one.
Nobody still does. I mean, they think it's a possibility now, but if you just looked at the roster, you don't think Mitchell and Gobert and a bunch of good shooters that you really don't know much about, Clarkson and Ingles and all. You don't think that nobody thought they were coming out, and the Lakers at a 7 seed, people were betting that they would come out before the Utah.
It was possible. Rockets did it back in the day. They were 6 seed.
But again,
a
6 seed with Akeem Olajuwon,
I know,
and all these Hall of Famers is like it ain't the same. And you know, and the record doesn't mean a lot, especially in a post pandemic season. It's shortened season. The schedule is different. Injuries play a big part. Everybody knows that the Lakers wouldn't have been a 7 seed had they been healthy. It's you know, so nobody looks at that and takes it seriously.
Yeah, but if I had to pick, not because of who I wanted, but just because who I think realistic would win it, Brooklyn.
Well, yeah, I think they're gonna win.
Yeah.
I think I would love to see Chris Paul make it to the playoffs. So since the Lakers are out, I'm rooting for the Suns, but I think the best matchup would be the Clippers and the Nets.
Would be, but it's probably, if it becomes Clippers versus the Jazz, I think the Clippers will like destroy the Jazz.
Well, I mean, they're playing right now. They lost their first game, so.
The Jazz did?
The Clippers lost the first game. They played yesterday, and the Clippers lost. Yeah.
I thought they. So it was 1-0. I thought it was 1-1.
1-0.
Okay. And I think the Hawks are gonna if they make it past this, the Hawks are gonna fumble.
See, now this is my problem. This is how I'm a hypocrite and I'm two-faced, right? So I root for the underdog to a certain point, but then I'll catch myself like, do I really want to see the Hawks in the finals? No. And then I'll turn around. It's like I root for the underdog, but then after I think about the end game of it, it's like, I don't want to see the Hawks in the finals. No.
Are the Hawks the underdogs? They've been destroying niggas.
They are the underdogs. So I can root for you to a certain degree, but then like thinking about, do I want to see the Hawks in Denver play in the finals?
Right.
No.
I know.
Crap. At the end of it, I do that in football a lot, especially with the playoffs. I'm like rooting for the underdog, but then when I think of it, it's like, I really don't want to see the Tennessee Titans playing in the Super Bowl.
That's facts. Yeah, that's true.
I changed my mind.
Yeah. That's true. Man, I had a question I was gonna ask you. Damn, I forgot. But I don't think it was sports related either. Damn. All right, quick. Who's your favorite artist right now? That wasn't the question, but just asking.
Favorite artist right now. Rick Ross. Rick Ross has been my favorite for a while. I think he's one of the most underrated artists.
Yeah.
Sometimes people try to pick apart stuff like who's the best rapper, who's the best this. And then, is
Rick Ross got the best beats.
Thank you.
That nigga, his beats are
Some
crazy.
of it just comes who makes the best music. And best is a matter of perspective. And at my age, he makes the music that I like.
Right. I think
grown folks music.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Instrumentally, it's grown folk music.
I'm 34, and I think Rick Ross makes better music than Drake. Like I would listen to a Rick Ross album before I listen to a Drake album. I love Drake. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm in the garage on the heavy bag. I'm listening to that Rick Ross, and he's his music is versatile.
Yeah,
he got that hard. These niggas can't hold me back. He got that Maybach music. He got that, magnificent. He got that, Aston Martin music. He got a lot of different lanes and vibes that you can go off of. So, I think anybody
have you heard
just rock the most. Go ahead.
Oh, have you heard Port of Miami too?
I was bumping that about 2 hours ago. I'm in the gym on the punching bag listening to that Turnpike Ike.
My favorite song is Bogus Charm on that one.
Which one?
Bogus Charm.
Dang, that might be my least favorite one because I'm trying to think of which one that is.
It's the one with Meek Mill. Broken dreams don't change.
And I bet you that's the one I probably skip over.
Oh man.
Okay. Yeah, I think what's my favorite one on that? I don't know. I had to look at the playlist. That's one I let it play through pretty much for the most part. But Rick Ross, I really, especially when I'm in the gym, that's something that I rock. That Rick Ross in the gym.
Yeah. So let's
T.I. is one of my favorites too. I'm
like,
not big. Just on side note, I'm not big
on
new
album
music.
Tomorrow? I think he's coming out with an album tomorrow.
I don't know, but I know he just came out with a single a couple weeks ago. Well, he came out with a single video a couple days ago, and the single audio came out a few weeks ago, and that was kind of addressing all of the stuff that's going on with him. So,
and that's supposed to be off his last album. Oh, speaking of music, so do you separate the musician, the sports person, whatever, from what they've done and shit?
Yes.
Like good. Okay. Because I was asked that the other day. Somebody asked me, do I still listen to R. Kelly? I said, yes. Yes, I do. I still listen to R. Kelly. I still fucking watch Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't condone none of this shit, but I will watch Seventh Heaven if it comes on.
You know, people who say that, who can't separate it, they're, golly, how do I say? They're ignorant hypocrites. That sounds terrible. What I mean by ignorant, you're unaware that you're a hypocrite,
right?
Because half of the people that you like, you really don't know anything about their personal lives.
Facts.
And I was in the music industry for a while, and so much stuff about so many people you never know, especially me, because I did a lot of work in the gospel industry, gospel hip hop, gospel rap, things like that. And the people who you think are living holy and the people who you think are a certain way, some are, but a lot aren't. But just because you don't know it, that doesn't mean that they're not that way. So the only thing that you can logically do is judge the fruit itself. What is the fruit? It's the product. It's the end result. I don't care what the person does. I only care about the music. Is it quality music? Do I like the message that the music gives?
Right.
So even let me flip the script. There's a lot of good, decent people who make ratchet, shiesty music because they know it sells.
Right. But them niggas are soft as fuck.
Yeah. They telling you all this. I'm popping bottles, and some of them don't drink. They don't smoke. They don't do any of the stuff that they're propagating in their music.
But they just know how to make the music.
People. They just know how to make the music. So should I like the music just because they're a good person? No.
Right.
I judge the music based upon the quality of it, what it says, how it vibes, and how it connects with me. That's it. That's all I have to go off of.
Right.
Your personal life, I don't. You know how many people? I love Michael Jordan. I love Michael because I'm from Illinois. I'm from the Chicago area. I grew up. I watched all of their games was on a local station, WGN. Right. We saw all of
that was cable for us in Texas, WGN.
Everything. We saw all of the games. So
yeah.
I love Michael Jordan as a basketball player.
But as a person, he's a whole ass nigga.
I've heard that from countless people.
Yeah.
He's a jerk, he's an idiot, he's an asshole, he's a whole ass nigga. I've heard that from so many people. I'm like, okay, I didn't have a desire to know him personally. I'm talking about him, his art, his craft. That's it.
Right.
He could be a jerk all he wants to. That doesn't change my opinion.
You know,
because a fan, what are you a fan of? Like, people get it twisted. You were never a fan of the person, or at least you weren't supposed to be. You're supposed to be, especially when it comes to art, you're supposed to be a fan of their art. Right. Whether it's their music, whether it's their craft, whatever it is. That's what you're a fan of. That's what attracted you to them. Yeah. Them as a person.
Right.
Unless you're trying to get personal with them, then why would that matter?
I ain't gonna lie. I still listen to some Tekashi 6ix9ine songs because I'm like, yo, I fuck with it. It gets me hype.
Right.
I don't give a fuck if the nigga snitch, did whatever. I don't care. It ain't affect me.
I have a caveat to that though. Okay,
come on.
Let me say this. Dang. You can't shit in your own bed.
Right.
That is an issue. So what do I mean by that? If I found out Michael Jordan was on steroids his whole life, that would be a problem for me, because it's directly incorporated with that which I admired about you.
Right.
A lot of preachers, when you speak about moral issues, either you speak for or against, or you try to tell people how to live a certain type of way, and you yourself is not a moral person, that goes directly to what makes you who you are.
Right.
So now that is a problem. I can't separate your lifestyle from your work, because your lifestyle is directly contradicting your work. So what's the guy's name everybody got on? Jackson, or what's the guy who always trying to give advice about women and this and this and that, and then he got caught up about his girl.
That black dude who was cheating on his girl?
Derek Jackson? I don't remember his name. What is Derek Jackson or something Jackson? Something like that.
I'll look it up. I'll let you know.
So anyway, my point is, yes, that's an issue, because
it's Derek Jackson.
Heard you clowning people, telling you, you ain't worth shit if you're not faithful to your woman, and you doing this and this and this and that, and you're the actions that you're doing. So if we found out, so let me give an example. If we found out you was embezzling money or stealing or robbing or whatever you do, that doesn't contradict what your message and what you're known for is. So, man, whatever, he like jacking niggas on the side. That's whatever. That's just what he do. But you're telling people that they trash for not sticking with their woman and this and this and that, and you yourself have these indiscretions. That is, you're shitting in your own bed, and then that is a problem. I can't cut with that. I can't cut for that.
I got you. It makes sense. Now, I thought about what I wanted to ask you earlier. Okay. So you said you're and this is kind of a dumb question, but I asked this today because I'll give you the backstory after. But are you a Christian, or were you a Christian?
The way I label it, I follow and study the teachings, the mannerisms, the actions of Jesus Christ. Okay. I don't like to call myself a Christian simply because it's too vague of a term. The KKK calls themselves a Christian organization.
That's true. And
a lot of people blowing up abortion buildings call themselves. They do it in the name. It's too broad of a term. A lot of evangelical, and a lot of people who's talking about Trump gonna make it in office, and God told you to vote for Trump. Oh, they claim that it's too vague of a term, so I don't like using that term.
Okay, here's my question. Because I was asking this question because it's about heaven. And I said to myself, my friend, I guess he was him and his girl had a ferret, and the ferret got the ferret got sick, whatever, and he was gonna put it down. It cost $500 to put it down, and then he said they kind of waited, and the ferret pretty much just died in agony. And I told him, I said, well, who are you to pick and choose when the ferret comes, whatever, So just kind of being a dick about it. And then I thought to myself, we live this life and everything, and if you live a good life, you go to heaven. But what about animals? Like, do animals and their conscience go to heaven? And then I thought to myself, what about the people who live good lives and all this, but may have had a couple kids on the side and all this shit? Because they say that families will reunite, and then you're gonna be reunited with a bunch of niggas you don't know. That's why I say it's kind of dumb.
Dumb, but you went to your two-part question is in two totally different directions. One is about do dogs get to go to heaven, and the other one is about
do my side kids get to go?
Right. Do people who live a good life but don't profess faith in the way that we say they need in order to make it into heaven? Simplest answer, I don't know.
Fair.
And I think what's more important is nobody knows. And I think the most important thing out of that is people need to start admitting that they don't know. You need to admit, I don't know, you don't know, none of us know.
Right.
And I don't see, and this is the problem that I have is I don't know where it came to this point that you have to be definitive in your faith and what. See, I can tell you what I believe. And I definitely have beliefs.
Right.
But even in my beliefs, well, how do you know? I don't.
Is this faith?
It's just faith, and this is what I believe. If you ask me, well, how do you know? I don't know. I'm just telling you what I believe.
Right.
And I think a lot of Christians and atheists, they get themselves in trouble by trying to explain or unexplain faith. Faith is something that cannot be explained.
Right.
If it could be explained, then it wouldn't really be faith. It'd just be logic and fact.
Yeah.
And also trying to explain away. And I deal with all types of people. So on the opposite side, I see atheist people, which I call them. Some of them got mad at me because I called them. I say you don't realize that you're just as religious as the people that you're condemning. Because so many atheist people, you're trying. You have an equal agenda to make people unbelieve or take away their belief, but the thrust and the agenda and the push that you have to make people see, whenever you have this need to change the minds of other people who may not want their minds to be changed. See, I think a certain way, and I know other people think a different way. But as long as you cool in your mind of thought, everybody ain't made like me. Everybody's not willing or don't have the desire to ask the questions that I ask.
Right.
And that's as long as you good with it and you love yourself, you love your life, you love your family, and you are one within yourself. There's nothing that I will ever do to try to convince you that you need to know more, convince you that you're going down the wrong path. Life is too short. Live your life happy. That's it.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I totally disagree with you. I think you may be blind in some areas. If you happy, oh, I love it. Yeah. That's good for you. I would never try to do anything to disrupt your happiness if you are one within yourself. Because see, and this is what I feel about God is that God is here for everybody. God does not have a desire to get each person to a certain place before they exit this earth. For some people, God know how he made you. He or she, how God know how you were made. So some people only have a desire for this level of knowledge. Why would I try to get them up here when they only have a desire for this? Because the truth is, in a lot of instances, the more knowledge you gain, the more miserable. The most knowledgeable people end up as the most miserable people.
Bro, yes.
That's even biblical. Man. Go with Solomon on that. Solomon ended up one of the most miserable people before he died. Knowledge is not, you think that knowledge is going to make you happier or give you better. No, it ain't. Because every question that you answer, it only leads to 50 more questions.
Yo, let me tell you this. This is a quick story. But one time, because I like to have little spiritual moments and do my psychedelics. But one time I did way too much acid.
Ooh.
And yeah, I know. And I love my acid trips, but I did way too much. And in this trip,
you saw God on that one,
bro. I saw the higher
everything on that.
No, really. Ask my boy. I said I experienced everything from good to bad to whatever. And for at least 3 hours, I kind of just wanted to commit suicide because I felt like I experienced everything in life. And there was nothing else to feel, and I felt so fucking depressed. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy you said that because I felt like that, and I literally wanted to like commit suicide, and I wasn't like scared or anything, but it was just like I was done. I was like, yo, life is finished. There's nothing that I can do.
Right.
And it was the best trip I had, the worst trip I had. It was every fucking thing.
Life absent of fear. That's why fear can be healthy. Sometimes you need to have a healthy fear.
Wow. Say that again?
You need to have a healthy fear.
No, what you said, the absence of fear thing.
I don't even know. You gotta go back and rewind.
Yeah, I'm about to rewind it. You said like life absence of fear or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what I said. Yeah.
But it pretty much you were saying the absence of fear. And that makes sense. Yeah, because if you don't, then man.
Yeah, certain level of fear is healthy.
That's what when I think a lot, because I'm really into like I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love space.
I do too. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
All that shit, you know.
I call him one of my pastors.
I call him one of my uncles that I wish was my uncle.
Right.
But I'm really into like space and everything, and just thinking of life being infinite, to the point that I think about shit that I know that I can't fathom, and it gets me like it gets me very, very anxious. But
so
go ahead.
I would say what I do is, with all of this stuff I'm talking about, I complicate in order to simplify. The reason I ask myself 100 different questions is for me to simplify it within myself. And once I can come to a simple conclusion, I can be at peace with it. As long as I have all these questions swirling around in it, it can keep me on edge. I'm not settled when I have a lot of questions. So everything, so even if the conclusion is if I have about a certain topic and my conclusion is white people hate us because they scared of us and they never gonna stop. That could be after all the questions that I had in my head, that's the conclusion I come to. So now I don't have to keep searching until it's time for me to search for more. I've come to the conclusion. Like even what I just said about religion, and whether it's dogs going to heaven or a ferret, or what about the good people who do a couple of bad things? After all of the experiences, all the questions, after I level everything out, well, what about somebody who says they believe, but then they do this? And what about the person who don't say it, but they also been doing these works and they give? And then what about the parable of Good Samaritan and all this and this and that? And God told us to call our brother is the one who actually helps us versus the one who has the label. And I have all of these questions in my mind, and I come to the conclusion of nobody knows.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Right.
The fact of the matter is we don't know. But I know what I believe. And when I get there or when I don't get there, I'll find out, or I won't find out then. It's not complicated because there's nothing else I can do to be more assured or less assured. The answer is still going to be I don't know.
Right.
But what I can do is I can do certain things that increases or confirms what I believe. But what I believe and what I know are two different things. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's okay. It's okay for anybody who believes anything, or if you're religious or non-religious. If you say you don't know, that's fine. To say I don't know, it keeps you open. It keeps the door open. The moment you say I know, you shut the door.
Yeah. If this whole time, like, you were able to see the meaning of life, and you found out that life was just the waiting room or the loading screen to your real life, would you live differently?
Say that one more time.
Like this life we're living right now. Like if this was just like the waiting room, you know what I mean? And like when you die, that's when your real life starts. Like, would you live differently in this life? If you knew that once you die, it's going to be this, nothing like this, a great whatever, you'd be like a deity or some shit. And you get what I'm saying?
No, I think I already live like that. And it's a couple things. I live for, well, it's a couple things. In order for me to live in my fullness, I have to be one with myself, and I have to continue being who I am. And me being who I am is just asking questions, understanding myself, what I like, what I don't like, shedding away those things that take away from my purpose or my completeness.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I live for the people who love me. So I don't eat there, and there is a balance to that. So like I said, I grew up in a Christian household. So where I may, if it was just up to me, I might drop a F-bomb and I might cuss every other word that comes out of my mouth. I'm also aware of the people that I represent. So I do watch how I address other people. I do watch the way that I communicate, because I'm a representation of not just myself, but other people as well. So anybody who, that's one of those people take it too far with the 100 thing. Oh, I just keep it 100. I don't care what nobody thinks. If you don't care what nobody think, then I question that.
Right.
I question that, because I can't care what I think to the point that I'm not myself, but I can find the right type of balance to where I want to represent my tribe well. Right. My tribe, my people, my children, those who love me, those who support me, those who believe in me. I have a responsibility to present myself in a certain way.
That's true. That's true. Because I was telling my girl, I said, I be telling motherfuckers, like, y'all don't give a fuck what you think about me. But I was like, I really do.
To a lot of people, I don't.
I was like, I really be caring. Well, yeah, me too. Some people I don't, but as impressions, like some people I do care. Like something like I care what you think about me. You know what I'm saying? Like this time we've been talking, I was like, yo, like I feel like an idiot talking to you. You know what I mean? Because, man,
you better stop that.
I know.
Where you get that from? And you need to start coming on Free Thinkers and chopping it up with it.
You know. Since we're talking, man. You know what happened? Where my shit comes from? Like I had really good self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? But a couple years back, my daughter passed away, and that killed my self-esteem. So now I'm like rebuilding my self-esteem, and that's the whole thing that got me questioning God and everything. Because me and God, I felt like me and God were great up until this happened, and I'm like, oh, this nigga ain't real, blah blah blah. Right. But that is where my self-esteem falls. Now, as a black man, because I mean, I know we're a little bit over an hour, so I mean, I want to make this quick. But as a black man, what do you let's talk? Let's speak on mental health a little bit. Black men and mental health.
I'm not good with mental health. I'll tell you that right now, because I'm not sure that I handle it properly. Let me back up a half a step. Even what you talked about with God, because I've heard a lot of people who even talk about that, they have traumatic situations that I couldn't even fathom, and I don't even know what I would, I ain't got nothing for you. I couldn't even pretend like I know what you feel.
Right.
When it comes to God, spirituality, what you believe, you know what you know. Don't let go of what you know and what you've experienced. But then some things you do have to shed and reevaluate. So what I mean by that is, a lot of times we've had experiences with God. God has showed us certain things. God has showed up in a certain type of way, and you knew it was God. And it don't matter what anybody else thought. You knew God was in this situation.
Right.
So you don't discount everything when you go through something traumatic. You know what you know, but there's certain things that we hold on to.
No, yeah, you're right, because I like
the things that we hold on to that maybe we shouldn't. Like, we'd like to say certain stuff and it just don't line up. Like, God will never put more on you than you can bear. And God, it's just a lot of nice little sayings that we say, but it's like, no. What about the kids in the school with the shooter that came up and shot up all the kids? What is that?
Right.
That was so. Anyway, my whole point is, when we get to a certain point of, we say things, we believe things, but I'm big on pragmatism. If we can't,
whoa. I never heard that word in my life.
Pragmatism. Okay, so it's literally just the your belief based off of
experience.
Yes, tangible experiences.
Pragmatism.
So, so is basically saying the reason I believe this is because in the collection of experiences that I've witnessed, it's allowed me to believe this.
Right.
So it's like God loves everybody. He don't hate anybody. Okay, but what about all these kids that's dying over here? Pragmatism tells me that if you say God loves everybody, but all these people starving to death, one or two things: either that statement is incorrect because I have experiences that don't line up with what I call love, or I need to redefine how I define love or how I define God. Or if this is the case, so is God completely sovereign? Is he completely omnipotent? Because we keep saying these things. If God know everything and he's in control of everything, why are these kids dying over here? And that's a lot of question that atheists and agnostic people have. And even some Christians that they don't like to attack. But what you have to do is you either say, you got to come to the conclusion that can't be true the way that I view it. Otherwise, this wouldn't happen because this don't line up with love with me. I can tell you right now, if I love somebody, I'm not letting them starve to death.
Right.
So either the way that I view this scripture or I view this, I have to reframe the way that I view it, or the scripture is wrong. It's one or two things, but you can't just sit there and keep trying to excuse away the things that you see in your life. Well, God got a purpose for them and they probably didn't suffer. You don't know that. Right. All I can say is from my experience, if I love somebody, I wouldn't let this happen to them. So the way that I see the scripture, it needs to change the way that I view the scripture. Or I could just say the scripture is wrong. It's that simple. That's pragmatism.
I agree with that. Now let me I mean, you didn't ask any questions, but let me say this. Now it's funny you say that because one thing after my daughter passed away, the one thing I hated hearing was God needed her back, blah blah blah, yada yada. And I was like, yo, there was a point in time that I was so depressed that I like turned to fucking like cocaine and all this fucking shit and living a crazy life. And this is, so I never believed that God wants people back. I believe in the free will,
right.
And I'll say this. My relationship is iffy with God, and sometimes I question God, but I still do pray.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I still know what I know and think what I think, I guess.
Right.
But and just talking because we don't know. But if it was up to me to think or to guess, I would think that God maybe does know all, but he doesn't know all. It's like if we were just watching watching the Sims and the Sims had free will, but in their world, then they're gonna do what they do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't buy that. Oh yeah, well God, he needed an angel back. Like I don't buy that shit. It sounds good, but it pisses me off now.
Think, I could imagine. So what? So shoot, let me go all the way back. So not all the way, but just pertaining to this.
Yeah.
What I've tried to do in my life, because I know everybody's on different levels. 99.9% of the way I operate with people is based on intentions. People gonna F up. People gonna do things and say things they shouldn't have said.
Right.
But I really base it off of intention. What did you mean when you said this? What were you trying to accomplish?
Right.
So for me, even as in a situation like that where I can look through them like that is bullshit completely.
Yeah.
But people are trying to find the best way they know how to try to give you comfort.
Right.
And based off of that intention, I'm not gonna knock you for it because I know you have good intentions behind what you're trying to do. What
Right,
you're trying
yeah.
to do is comfort me.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I get that, but at the reality is that's
Yeah. I mean, when
it's
people
completely irresponsible to try to make that
when people say that, I take it and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying. But in my mind, I'm like, yo, shut up, you know what I'm saying. But because I'm never gonna knock somebody because in the grand scheme of things,
is that what you would be saying if it happened to you? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Is that the same thing you'd be saying to yourself if that happened to you?
Yo,
Like,
not a funny thing, but a week after my daughter passed, my cousin introduced me to this guy whose son just passed. And the first thing I said to him was, I don't even know what to say. And it just happened to me.
That's the proper response.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, I don't know what to say.
That is the proper response.
Yeah.
I can't listen. Oh, I know what you're going through. My grandmother. No, that ain't the same.
Yeah,
that ain't even close. My
ain't.
grandmother was 90-some years old when she died. She had her time.
Yeah, right.
It's not even comparable. Stop trying to compare somebody else's pain. Unless you went through that same pain, you don't know.
Right.
So just say, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, because it was like, you know, I lost a child too, but they both died in different ways. And I was just like, yo, I mean,
right.
Ugh, man.
I feel you.
Boy, those times, you know what I'm saying? But I'm happy. I'm at a place that I can talk about it and not be all weird, you know what I'm saying? Right. But it made me question my faith. But as I go on and as I tell myself that God is not real, there's little crazy things that happen in life to let me know that somebody's looking out for your boy. You know what I'm saying? So
even with that, that's what I say. If you've ever had those experiences where you saw the hand or the movement or the energy of God, don't discredit it.
Yeah.
If you've ever, I can't say you have. I've had those experiences in my life
where
I'm like, oh shoot, I know that's God. Yeah. So now when other messed up stuff happen, I'm not going to discredit what I've seen, good and bad. Like I said, even I've seen just a lot of stuff. I grew up in church, so I've seen a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's what you call those when they casting demons out of people and the demon telling all your business.
Oh. What religion were you?
Are you saying denomination or religion? Just Christian.
Like when you came or denomination.
I'm the son of a pastor. My dad started a church, was non-denominational, but it was birthed out of Church of God in Christ Pentecostal.
I came up a 7-day Adventist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of people are surprised when I say that, but yeah, I did. I was for a long time. You know what I'm saying? It was right. It was a weird life.
And that's one of those things.
Well, it wasn't weird.
I'm appreciative of the way that I grew up because I have a different understanding of people who I deal with on all sides. Like, I'm so happy for growing up in a Christian foundation. I'm so happy doing gospel music because it allowed me to go all over the city, all over the state.
What did you do gospel music wise?
I rap with a guy called I don't know if you know Blue the rapper, Holy Soul.
Blue Suede?
Not Blue Suede. Blue is the singer, but Blue the rapper, we've done music with Blue Suede also. So
wait, Blue like BLU, the nigga from Cali?
No, BLUE. He's an Austin rapper, Austin based. Did a lot of gospel rap. He did work in the Austin scene for a while with Albert Rideau, Mad Creole, a lot of people like that. We older, so I say it like that. But we were heavy in the scene. But even doing gospel rap, I was able just to experience more than because the average person who attends church, they go to the same church. They go to their grandmama church and they might leave that and go to another church. You might go to 2 or 3 churches in your adult life. But I was able to experience and interact with hundreds, I ain't gonna say hundreds, but over 100, different pastors and ministries. So I got a wide view of how it works. I wasn't just pinpointed on this is how church is. I know it's wide variances and nuances to it. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for free thinkers. It allowed me to experience so much other different religions, doing, having talks about Islam and atheism and agnostic and just so many different variances in between. It just allowed me to experience the differences and similarities of all people. And that's where it comes to the point of, we think different, but we don't at the same time.
Right. We
still got the same values.
Nice. So, man.
Oh, and to say that I think the whole point was, because of that, I can connect with almost anybody because of all of those different experiences. I have the ability I see where you are. And so let me go a little. It's not even that I'm deep or that I know certain things, but it's when I'm having a conversation with certain people, a certain audience, a certain group, an individual, I can have a conversation and identify where you are. And I can base my conversation off of where you are. And I might give you something maybe that's just 1 or 2 steps ahead of what you see. So the thing that I love more than anything, this is what I love. I love it. I love it. I love it. Having conversations and throwing just a little bit of something right in front of a person. 3, 4,
like the Jeffree Star shit.
3, 4, 5 months later, they come back. God dang, Q, you was right. I seen what you such talking about this, and I'm like, yeah, I know. But I'm showing, I'm seeing where you are, and I'm showing you this is the next thing that you should look out for.
Yeah.
And then when they see it, and since I've planted that seed, they identify. They be like, this nigga was right. Shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's what I love. But the reason I do is it ain't even deep. It's just I see where you are, and either based off of conversations personally that I have with people, or I ask so many questions. I ask questions all the time because it helps me learn. Like in this lifetime, I only have a limited amount of experiences that I can have.
Right.
But by asking questions, by peering into your life, you can expose me and introduce me to a life that I never would have had, or I never would have experienced had I not spoken to you. So every person that I speak to, I'm digging, I'm asking questions because I want your experience. Your experience makes me a better person. It makes me more complete. It makes me full. And it also allows me, if I'm and I don't consider myself like a minister, but I know I have the ability to serve other people emotionally or in different areas. Your experience allows me to identify with the next person. So what I don't know, even with your experience, I don't know, I haven't experienced that. But in all of the most effed up stuff that I've ever had to deal with in my life, the silver lining was when someone else went through that, came across that same experience, I was able to help them navigate through it. So maybe you've dealt with that, maybe you will deal with that, but it don't make everything right.
Right.
And it don't be like, oh, it was all worth it because of that. But when that time comes and you are, and that's, I appreciate you sharing even, your hurts and your losses. Somewhere along the way, somebody's going to need you. They're gonna need you, and you, not me, not anybody else. You're going to be the only one that's going to be able to help them navigate through what they're going through, and it's still going to be effed up. But you will be able to say, I ain't gonna say you will. You may be able to say, I can't even say that, but there will be a silver lining somewhere because you'll be able to help somebody else. So. And like you're not the first person, and you're not gonna be the last. So
of course,
part of the cycle.
But so man, any last words? Any last words before we get out of here? I mean, come on, you gotta tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, well,
It's already hard to spell your name. Free Thinkers.
Check us out, Free Thinkers, man.
And I appreciate you for being on because Free Thinkers is going on for maybe another 5 minutes right now. Y'all do Thursdays?
No, we don't do Thursdays. We only do Tuesdays.
Okay.
Tuesday evenings, yeah. So sometimes other people just participate. If you know, if you got questions, if you have posts, if you want to get in a group of like-minded people who like to challenge the way that society thinks, then Free Thinkers is a good place. So yeah, I don't have I ain't got a lot more words, but yeah,
man,
I enjoyed it, man. I'll just say I enjoyed it, man. I appreciate it.
I enjoyed it. I really appreciate it talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like it was what I thought it would be. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said I did not want to smoke before this because I still feel like I was in, but dude, the way you think, and it gave me a better outlook on shit. And I'm about to hit a lot of people with this Jeffree Star and Chaz question. Like I am about to hit a lot of people with this.
Oh, you ain't gonna get no answer on that.
But man, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
for real.
Thank you for being on the show. And yes, I do have to I do want to talk to you more on this show because there are some topics we didn't get to talk about. And so this is my last words. All right. When I said anytime, I really mean that because this is what I do. And I make sure I'm walking in my passion. So whatever it is that you do, make sure that you walk in your passion. And make sure you stay in your passion. Because even doing podcasts, doing groups, doing a lot of stuff, I never pay attention to who's watching, how many views I have, it don't matter to me. Yeah. So whether there's 100 people watching, whether nobody watches, I do this because I love doing it. And I make sure when it came to music, when it comes to podcasts, when it comes to different little variances of shows that I do and I'm introducing, I make sure I do things that I love because it's not going to be contingent on anybody else except for me and what I love. And that's a longer story, but I want to make sure that I'm leaving something behind for my children. The reason I really got started with the whole podcast thing is because when this pandemic hit and people, dropping left and right, and I lost quite a few people that I knew. I wanted to there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to leave to my children, just as far as me, my thoughts, my mindset. But my children are still young. And it's like, even if I try to talk to them about certain things, it's not going to register because they're not at that age yet. Right. But I wanted to make sure I left behind pieces of me in the way that I think. And so that's why I do a segment called 21 Questions. I'll do you with Moke and Friends. I want to talk about things that I wouldn't even think to talk about because one day, whether it's my children or whether it's somebody else, it's going to mean something to them at a certain point in time in their lives. So all I'm doing is just leaving pieces of me behind for that day that it will be needed. It may not be needed today or next week. It could be 10, 15 years down the line, but it'll be valuable. So everything that you're doing, everything that I'm doing is valuable. No matter how it looks right now, it's going to be valuable. So that's where I see the gold in. That's what I'm talking about. Last words. Oh, and one more thing. Bucks won by 3 points. But
okay. That's what.
But yes, this was inspiring. Now, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody when I say this, but I usually don't really listen to my shows. I really don't go back and watch them. But I think I'm gonna go back and watch this one, or at least listen to it, because I know that there's some gems that I may have missed. I did not smoke, but I've been drinking Merlot and Sprite. So I'm kind of saucy. But
this is raw right here. This ain't mixed with nothing. This is raw.
What is that?
I'm sipping it light. This is straight rum. Straight rum, raw.
How you sipping it light and it's like half a cup?
It was almost a full cup, so I'm
what type of rum?
I had what is it, Bacardi? I had a mix of Bacardi Gold. I'm out of cracking already. So this even super short story. When I start reading on stuff, then I'm not a big drinker, so I didn't know the difference. So I've been on rum for the last 2 months. I've just been getting all different types of rum. So I had some, I think it was some Jameson, and then some Bacardi Gold, and then also something else. It's
have you ever had cruising rum?
Cruising,
Cruzan.
Yes, I did. I finished that bottle last month.
I used to, my family, they're from the islands and stuff, and so that comes from the Virgin Islands. And man,
the gold. Yeah, the gold.
Over there, those bottles, like the liters, cost like $3. Because the factories there. That is the type of rum I drink, or I do like Wild Turkey. But what were you saying?
No, that's all. I'm like, this is raw. This ain't mixed, so I'm sipping it slow, but I'm feeling good.
So besides I always do this shit. I always say last words and I start just fucking talking again. But besides Free Thinkers and 21 Questions, like, do you have any other stuff? Because I would love to subscribe and listen to you. Like, do you have anything that I don't have to catch on live that I can maybe download or go back to an archive or something?
No, I have tons of thoughts and tons of ideas, but it's all a matter of just timing and how much I can do. I have a newborn, I have 2 kids, so I got to make sure I manage my time.
Okay, because I was gonna say, you're talking to me. Your quality sounds very good. I see a microphone in front of your face, so I was thinking, like, yo, you should be recorded. But now you said you got the newborn and all that. So
it's a lot of things that I'm trying out. But I mean, I got like 7-8 different things that I'm trying out, but I want to find out what sticks, everything I do, I have to enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, then it won't stay. Like, you'll do it for 3 or 4 months, but you got to have a love and a passion for what you're doing, or otherwise you're not going to keep it up. So I'm looking for what is my passion. I'm going to be doing some more interviews. I'm going to be doing it's a thing called 30 on the Thread that I do. It's also 21 Questions. It's another thing. I'm going to start doing Free Thinkers for
30 on the what? Because Nikki
30 on the Thread is
Nikki sends me a lot of videos, and now that you're saying these, and I'm like realizing that these are you.
I play around with a lot of stuff. I just don't have a set schedule, so it's not a set date and time that I do it every time. But 30 on the Thread is in a nutshell is we have a lot of posts and a lot of conversation that goes on the Free Thinkers page. Right. I don't have all day to go back and forth. It's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but trying to do it in text form takes too long for me, and it doesn't help get my thought out. So 30 on the Thread is really where I'm just going down certain aspects of the thread, and I'm giving commentary on it.
Gotcha.
So it's a way to kind of involve my thoughts in without kind of going back and forth in the comment section. Then I got some more stuff. It's a lot of stuff, and also even with Free Thinkers, something that maybe I might have to get you involved in with the Free Thinkers Zoom, but we're also looking to do a Zoom meeting where we have kind of newbie people or people who are not typically on. So kind of like the freshman class to get them involved, and it gives you the opportunity to be more, because we got some vocal people on that group, and they can kind of dominate the conversation if you let them. So and some people just don't feel comfortable barging in, and some people are not aggressive debaters, which I understand. So I want to do separate meetings that is for people who don't feel as comfortable, and then I want to do things that's, like I said, with a group where we want to. I'm going to do a group where I have a panel of all transgender people, of all gay people, of all evangelical, of all former Trump supporters, and really just peel away and ask them questions and kind of learn more about them and give them a platform to really educate us.
Nice.
Anyway, I got a lot of ideas.
I see.
So
That's good. That's exciting. Well, I mean, like, let me know, whenever. I usually do my shows Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think in July though, I might just do maybe one day a week or whatever. So let me know. I'm
Okay.
down. You know what I'm saying?
Now, love,
And,
I hit you up about a session of 21 questions, and that's all it is. It's 21. It don't matter what the questions are; they just 21 questions.
man,
And
I'm
we have
down.
a segment where you're gonna ask me 21 questions, and then a segment where I'm gonna ask you 21 questions.
Okay,
And
yeah.
they go all over the place. It don't matter, as long as it's a question. Then we ask it, and you get the answer. You answer however you see fit.
That's
And
really
that's the way it
dope.
works.
That's a dope
Yeah,
idea. That's a dope idea, man. All right, man. Thanks for being on my show, man.
my pleasure. My pleasure. Appreciate it.
As I say, we need to stay in contact.
Absolutely. I'm a friend now. I'm a
Yes,
friend now,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. We are
That's
friends
what's up.
now. You're the first person to really acknowledge that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've had that for years and nobody ever acknowledged that. And so yes, we are definitely friends now.
There it is. There it is. That's what's up.
All right, man. Have a good night. Enjoy your family. I'll holler
Same to
at
you.
you. Yes,
All right.
sir.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yep. Moke and friends, tonight was a great show. I had Q quitting with the CW. That was my first time ever in life talking to him. I seen him before on the Black Tea Talk Live panel. Check out Free Thinkers. They go on Tuesdays, I think at 8 or 8:30. Check them out. Yeah, shout out Q, shout out Nikki, shout out to everybody. I am about to go make some motherfucking wings in the air fryer, nigga. So I'm excited about that. Who we got coming up next? Oh, I can't even see. But we got some good shows coming up. Holla at your motherfucking boy.